So, hello. Today we'll be talking about this examination portal and how to navigate it properly. So, when you log in, the examination portal will be like this. Just like this, you have this interface displayed on your, or however it's displayed on your end. Now, you touch this menu icon, you can see we have dashboard, posts, exam manager. Now, on that post, you can see all post categories and tags. Under exam manager, we can see examinations, questions, exam categories, class and subjects, results. Now I'll start walking you through each interface, each option properly, exactly the way it should be done and how you should use it. So we'll start from exam categories. That's the first thing we do when coming here. So what do we want to do here? This exam categories is the subjects. This has to do with the subjects for the exam portal. The subjects. Sorry, I meant the classes rather. The classes for this exam portal like GSS1, Primary 1, Primary 2, GSS3, SS1. Depends on your school's dimension, the classes. So we'll create a random class that is not already in the system here. So we already have Primary 1, GSS and the rest. So we'll just create a random class that we don't have here. So let's name it Gene 1. This is just for example purposes. Gene 1. Once you have that, you don't need to fill anything into the description. Make sure the category status is showing published and you save and close. So we have Gene 1 as our class. Now here we have list of different classes. In this place we have different classes here. You can see SS3. If I come here, you see Prevoc 1. If I come here, you see the one we just created, Gene 1. Now the reason they are not displaying boldly here is because of the white interface I used. That's not necessarily a problem. If you want to see it, you can also touch, just leave your mouse on it to display what is there, or you can touch edit. When you touch edit, it brings you back here. Here you can re-edit the title to whatever you want. You can save and close once you're done. You can also delete. Once you hover it, you see the ones you want. You can delete. Now once you've done that, you move on to class and subject. Class and subject. Now remember categories. Whenever you see categories, this is referring to the class, just like exam categories referring to the class. So here we have class and subject again. So what do we have here? We have, give me a minute. We have class and subject and it's under categories at the moment. And remember categories are classes. So you touch add new again. That same class you added on exam categories, you will add it here again. And you type it here again. Chain one. Now this is one mistake some people make. When typing it there, you used just the J was capital letter, but typing it here again and you made it everything capital letter. Those mistakes should not be allowed. You should type it exactly the way you typed it in the other end. If everything was capital letter there, then everything should be capital letter here. If this was how you typed it there, this is how it should be there. Once you're done with that, category status is published and you save and close. Once you have done that, you over to these tags and touch tags. Now tags are subjects, categories are classes, tags are subjects. You tap on it. Good. Wait a minute. Once you tap on it, you touch add new. And you name it whatever you want. This is a subject, so let's just give it a random subject. Phonetics. Now let's name it phonetics. Save and close. So we now have a new class and a new subject. These are what you just do under these two options. You create under exam categories, you create classes. Under class are subjects, you create class and subjects. Other categories are classes, tags, and subjects. Once you've done that, you head next to question. Now this is like the most important part. This is the most important part. So I'll start from here. Now there are two ways to create questions. You can create them one by one or you can bulk import them. What do I mean? I'll start by this. You touch add new. Now when you touch add new, what do you do here? Here, this first box is where you put a question. So let's assume you have a question and you want under phonetics you want to ask is phone okay, just give me a minute. What does phone phonetic deals with? This is just a random question just for the video purpose. So now we have different question type. Now radio, this has to do with options where you have option A, option B, option C, option D. I'll show you how to navigate all of them. Now what does phonetic have to do with? Now you have here keyword A, answer. You can just put people. This is an option. You come to the second one, you touch, change it to B. This is option B. Name it voice. Now I have the third one, you can name it option C. Put it sounds. Now we have the next option D. You can make it animals. Then if you want to add an option E, all you just need to do is touch here and you can make here option E continuously as you like. Now if you just want only three options, it's very possible you just need to delete one. It's simple as that. Now once you've put the different options, you have to select the correct answer because the system, when the system want to process the result of a student, it needs the correct answer you generate in it, you give to it. So you touch here, correct. Touch here, correct. Once you touch here, this is the correct one. Then you come here, you scroll down. Class, you select the class. So you can scroll down to look for the class, or you can search for it. Gen 1, this was all created. Now remember category is class, task is subject. Come here, you can also search for the subject. You can scroll down for it, or you can search for it to the same way. So phonetics, this is it. Once you're done that, you're done. You don't need to fill anything under this title. You can just touch save and close. Now before I save and close it, I want to show you the different question types. The second one here is checkbox. Now on that checkbox you have multiple options. This is where student can select multiple options for an answer. So now you can put as many options as possible. Now if let's assume out of the three options two are correct, you select the two that are correct and you leave that incorrect one like that. This is where you can select multiple options. After that we have drop down. This is where the questions become drop down questions. It's basically the same thing with options. The only thing is that the options are not just displayed. The student have to tap on it to drop them. And we have text question. Now this text question has to be where maybe you could ask this question now. What does phonetic deal with? And the student will have to type in the answer themselves. Sounds. So what you do here, you just type the answer, you put a placeholder. Or when you type the answer sounds, for example, then you put a placeholder. Placeholder is just like an instruction that will be in that text box. Fill in your answer here. Type the answer, then you leave it, you scroll down. Class and subject is selected, you save and close. Next is short text. It's basically the same thing as text, but this is for a shorter text. Next we have numbers. Now this is if the answer have to do with numbers. You can name it 40 this, put a placeholder, fill in the answer here or whatever placeholder you want. Next we have dates. If the answers are dates, you can actually select a date. If the answer is a date, come here, um, select it here, the month, the date. If for example this is the answer, you remember you have to select the answer so that the system can know what to give, what to mark. Once you've selected that, you scroll down and you touch save and close. Now if it's not a date, true or false, you select it, then you select which of them. Is it false? You have to select the correct one here. When there are multiple options, you have to pick one that is the correct one. You have fill in the blanks. I'm sure you know what filling the blanks is. You can say something like, what does phonetic deal, or something like phonetic deals with dash. Now you can just put something like, okay, just sounds deals with. Now once you put sound deals with, here is where you put the answer. I'm just giving a random example. For example, voice and placeholder. Fill in the blank here. Fill in the blank here. Once you have done that, you scroll down, subject and whatever, then you save. Then matching. This is where you have matching questions. Maybe you match one option to another. What do I mean? Like choice one, you can name it. Let's say car. You can match it to, let's say, tire. Give me a minute, rather. Sorry. Match it to tire. Choice two, just say food. Match it to eba. Now let's just delete it and work with two options to in order to be fast. Once you have this, we already know if a student marks car to eba, they're incorrect. Why if they mark food to tire, they're incorrect. So what do? You select the incorrect match here. The incorrect match is what you select here. So car to eba, you select it here. Car to food to tire, you select it here. You just mark it and that's all. Then next, let's move back to radio. Now, if you want to, these options or the options they've left, they deleted, so I'll just add them back. See, the question was phonetics use with. So, if the question you want to have an image for the question, you just touch add image. Now, if you don't have any image in the system, you just touch upload files. You select the files and you upload. But if you already have in the system, you just come here, you select the particular one, or you scroll down to wherever it is, you select it and add it. So let's take this now. You can add the image. You can add the image. Once you've done that, the options, remember, you have to select which is correct and which is correct. Dog, labia. These are just random examples, but labia has to do with throat or something as well for phonetics. So the correct one is sound, so you just touch here and let's just delete the fourth option and make everything faster. So once you've selected all this, if you want to add an image to the options, you can also touch here and add. You come here and you touch. Make sure the class and subject are selected and just save and close. Now let's assume you want to create another one again immediately after this one. So instead of closing this page and touching add new again, you can just touch save and new. To save it, then it will put a brand new question page like this for you again to continue. But we don't want to do that, so we'll save and close. Now, if you want to edit the question you just worked on, you can just simply scroll down, move to it, and you touch edit. Now, this place has questions from different subjects and all that. So, what do? If you want a particular class or something, you come here, you select category. Remember, category is class, GN1. Tags is subject. Remember, if you want the subject, you scroll for the subject or you search for it. Let's just say phonetics, and you touch filter. And you can look at it. It brought out the one in phonetics. So let's assume you don't want phonetics, you just want a specific class, just the class and not subject. You touch filter and to bring just the class out. Now let's assume you want the particular question type, radio and the rest. You select it. You want it without image, questions without image or with image, you select as well. So this is how you can filter and know the particular question. So let's assume, wait a minute, you have selected the questions for a particular class or a particular subject and you want to mark or maybe to do something. You can just touch bulk options, move to trash. Once you select move to trash, you touch apply and all those questions will be moved to trash and deleted. That's how it is. So you clear filters. Now, I told you there are two ways to range these questions. You can put them manually one by one by yourself here, or you can import multiple questions. So how do we do that? Touch imports. Now we have different format of importing questions. You touch example which I've created here. We have the CSV, Excel file, JSON file, simple Excel file. Now the easiest of them all is this simple Excel file. That's the simplest. But this simple Excel file has only the it works with only the options. It works with only options, meaning option question, option A, option B, option C. However, with JSON or the CSV, you can maybe try the other question types. So but we'll just work with this. So you tap this one, the exact one you want to do, and you touch, you download it. You download it. So I already have it here, so no need to download it again. We'll just head over to it. Give me a minute. I'll look for it right away. Just head over to it. Just give me a minute. Sorry for the delay. Please give me a minute. Now I've opened the simple Excel file. A minute. Now this is the simple Excel file. This is just how it is. So what do I do here in this simple Excel file? Under here now, this is where I put the questions. So for example, what is, do you remember I said using the simple Excel file we can only put questions with options. You cannot select the other question types unless you are using what's it called, the CSV, JSON or the other one. So class, you select the class. So I remember you should type it exactly the way it is in the system, the way you put it. If you made everything capital letter or you made everything small letter, because in the system when we did it, we used only the G as capital letter. So preferably we do something like that. If not, it will create another class, following like create another class again for you, making everything capital letter. And you have confusion having multiple classes. So subject the same way. Wait a minute. This is changing it to January 1 because this is a month. So forgive me for that. So we type Jan 1. Subject exactly the way you typed it there. If everything was capital letter, everything was small letter, you just type it exactly the way it was. Phonetics. Now, these are where you have the option. Option A, you can name it this is a dream. Imagination. Thoughts. Like if you want four options, you continue. If you want just three options, you can choose to stop. But if you want four options, you can continue again. Name. If you want a fifth option, this is what you just do. You tap here, you touch answer, you name it answer 5, and you come here, you give it. Okay, I'm just giving random examples. But if you don't want it, you can just as simple as you did. You can just come here and delete it. So this is how you do it. So once you've done this, you select the correct answer. Remember, when we are in the system, we have to select the correct answer in the system. So you come here, which is the correct answer? Answer 1, answer 2, answer 3, answer 4, answer 5. If it's answer 1, you can just touch 1. If it's 2, you touch 2. If it's 3, so you will have to select the correct one. So once you've done that, sorry, a minute. So let's assume I don't want this. I can simply just delete it. If I don't want this answer 5, I can delete it. Just the way I typed it, you can just delete it. So once you've done this, you save it. You can do as many subjects as you want, but to make it easier, I would prefer to make it easy. It would be advisable if you have like on this Excel file, you just focus on only a particular subject. Let's say this one should be for phonetics, next one should be for mathematics. You can just make it per subject and class. Maybe you can title it Mathematics SS1. You put all the mathematics for SS1 there. Um, English for SS2. You put it there just for a subject and class. It will make it far more easier rather than putting multiple subjects and multiple classes in the same area. You can just put for a class and subject in one Excel file. So once you've done that, you save it and you head back to the site and you touch choose file. When you touch choose file, it will lead you to your system to select the file and you import it. Now, one more thing. If you are uploading a CSV file, normal Excel file or JSON file, you don't need to check here. But if you are exporting only, importing only a simple Excel file, you just need to tap here. If you are importing only a simple Excel file, you tap it. But if you are importing the rest, you don't need to tap it. Now, this update existing questions. This doesn't work if you're using a simple Excel file. Now, this one, what it does is, let's assume in the file you created before, these two questions there were already there, and you don't want to delete them. Maybe you just want to add more. You add more. Now you come to the system, you import it. You don't want the system to put those old ones. You only want those new ones. You just touch update. It will not add those old ones. They add the new ones, but it doesn't work for this simple Excel file. It works only for this CSV, normal Excel, JSON, but it doesn't work for the simple Excel file. The reason it's called simple Excel is because it's much easier to edit and everything compared to the other ones. So once you've done that, you import it, and the questions will be imported here right away. So once you have everything you want, these are reports of the question. This is not really too important for you. This is not too important. There's nothing here important. Maybe when a person gives a report, oh, something is wrong with this question is incorrect, you can see them here and you can resolve it or when it's under review. So once you've done this, you've done the exam categories, which you remember categories as classes, tags as subject. Once you've done that, you've put the question, you come to examinations. You come to examinations. Now under examination, now you come here, you touch add new. Now what's the name of the class again? Gen 1. So we'll just create a random example for it. Title. You title it um, you can name it whatever term you want. Let's say fourth term phonetics. Phonetics. This is just an example. Description, you can put a description if you like. This is for third term, SS1. This it's not necessarily, it's not important. I mean, category, you select the class again, Gen 1. Once you've selected the class, come here. The subject, you touch insert questions. Now this is where you select the question. Let's say you want this, you just touch here and it will add it. Now let's assume, oh, the questions are here are too many. You don't want all the questions to show you. You just want the one for this particular class or subject. It's as simple as that. You just come to filters, category. Remember, category is class, so you touch change. Sorry. Remember, type it the way you found it. If it's not showing, you don't need to stress yourself. Maybe when you're typing it and it's not showing. Let me show you something. When you start it with capital letter, that is when it's most likely show. So you can just type your small letter and you see it. But if it's not showing, you just tap it, you show all of them. And you can just select. Now tags, this is where you have the classes. Phonetics. Even if let's say you type it and it looks like it's not showing, you just need to switch to small letter and it will show. But even if you don't switch, all will show once you just click on this, so you can just select it. So once you have that, once you've selected this, you can show entries. Do you want it to show 10 questions, 25 questions, 50 questions? You select to show as many questions as you had selected. Then what do? You can just touch select all and insert questions. So since you've already selected all the classes and all the subjects, like that particular class and subject, you can just select all and you touch insert. When you do that, it will insert the question here. You can see since we have only one question, it inserted that one question here. But let's assume you want to be doing it one by one. You can just come here. Here these filters are. Wait a minute. You clear this filter. Maybe in case you want to see the question, you clear the filter for the category, clear the filter for the tag. And you can see every single question that has ever been formed. So maybe you can just select it randomly and you scroll down. You can see there are many. If you want to go to the next page, you touch one, two. And besides that, if you want to see as many, when you touch here entries, it will show like the number of questions per page. So if you want to see 5 questions per page, you see it. When you scroll down, you can look only 5 questions per page. If you want to see 100 per page, you can do as that. You can do all that. Then you just insert the questions. Once you do that, once you do that, go to settings. Now under the settings, remember after doing that, you come to settings. Under the settings, make sure the status is unpublished. Then touch this, create a post for it. Post categories. This is where you can select the class again. I think I have not created one for Gen 1, but I'll show you how to do. Oh, okay, let me just do that. You come under this post here, see categories. Just tap on it. Sorry, categories. Tap on it, and you can see different classes here before. So you just touch new, add the new category Gen 1 the way you did it before. Once you've done that, touch add category. Under this post itself again, touch add category. Once you do that, look at it there, Gen 1. So you can come back here, select post category. You can now, it has not shown yet because I'm just creating it and I have to reload this page. So you have to do that before reloading this page. But let's just select any random one here. Let's select a random one, primary one. Now this time, 7,200. This time is per seconds. Per seconds. Now I think 7,200 should be 60 seconds or something. I can't remember. But you can leave it. You can leave it per second. Yeah, sorry, it's calculated per second. So if you want 60 minutes, you look for 60 minutes per second. You type it there like that. I think this was 60 minutes or so. Then once you're done that, you don't have any other thing to do here. There's no other thing to do here. Okay, one more thing. The only thing you can choose to do here. Just give me a minute. Okay, I think that's all. Yes, yeah, that's all. I just remembered. Next, you can see this result settings. Now, this result settings under here, this is it calculates the score by the correctness, and it can display the scores too. Now, if you don't want it to display the score after exam, all you need to do is touch hide score. You can look at this thing here. Disable to show user score after the finish page. Once you hide score, it will not show users their score at the end of the exam. But if you don't check on it, if you check on it now, it will not show their scores. But once you uncheck it, at the end of the exam, it will show their scores. So enable progress bar. Every other thing, you leave it exactly the way it is. You don't need to touch any other thing apart from the ones I've shown you. Now these are like how many percentage is a pass score? 60% above. 60 points rather, not percentage. Points. 60 points above. You can put it. If it's 70 above, you can put it. Then when you say pass, it will put congratulations, you passed the exam. If you say, oops, you've not passed the exam, meaning anything below 60, it's not passed. Then once you have done that, that's all you just need to do. As for these ties, this is where you can select maybe a particular theme of your choice. Theme of your choice. This is how it will display the starting page. You can do the editing if you like. This is your own personal choice. I made this here so that whenever you want to select it, you can select it. Then you can scroll down and touch save and close. Now, one more thing. Let's assume you've made some settings and you don't want to be coming back to do those settings over and over again. Let's assume, for example, um, this design, this ties, for example, These are how the options will be displayed. All those ones. Then under settings, you have some things that you don't want to be doing one by one again, or result settings. What you just do is touch save as default. The moment you touch save as default, the only thing you will do here whenever you log in now is to come to general, put the title, insert the questions. Once you insert the questions, you head to settings. Make sure it's under publish, create post for quiz. Make sure you check this. Select the category, which is what I showed you before. You select the category again. Remember, we created this category under post. You select it. It's not showing yet because we've not reloaded the page. So you select this category. The time now, since you have already set it as default, everything will be default unless maybe you feel like changing the time. So you just come here and you save and close. That's what you just do, save and close. That is if you don't want to be doing those designs, those result things one by one, you save it as default. So once they are saved as default, I'll repeat it again. Once everything is saved as default, whenever you want to create a new question, you just come here, you give it a title. If you want to add an image, you can add an image. You can add the description as your choice. You add the category here, which is the class. You insert the questions. Once you've done this on this general, move to settings only. Make sure the status is published. Create post for quiz. Select the category, which is the class here. Then you scroll down and save and close. That is when you have everything as default. So it will automatically put your other settings for you. If the timer, you already have the timer at default there, it will automatically put it for you on all exams exactly the way you want it. So you just that is when you have saved it as default. So the first time you're doing it, you can save it as default. Once you've done that, you touch save and close. Save and close. You can see, great job. You touch done. Now we are done with every interface under this exam manager. You cannot touch here. Give me a minute. Post. Under post now, remember under categories is where we created the categories for the now for these tags. This is where you have tags and subject under exam manager. Tags is subjects, categories is class. Now under post, tags are maybe like first term, second term, third term. Right, categories are classes as usual. But tags under post are the terms. So you can just create a new one. We created fourth term just now, so let's add it fourth term. This was how I typed it there, so that's why I'm doing it this way. I think I even used the th. Preferably use everything the way you use it in one place. So add tag. Now once you've done this, head to all posts. Now you are supposed to create these categories, tags, and everything first. Now under here now you can see it. Fourth term phonetics. You can see it. Now you can see categories, the classes, primary one. If you want to edit anything, you don't need to touch this edit, you touch this quick edit. Under quick edit now you can change the class from primary one to gen one. That's it. You can change it here to gen one if you want. But preferably just do everything from the examination page so you don't have to stress yourself doing anything again. The tags. This is for the first term and the rest. You can just fourth term, you can look for it, look at it. Once you've done that, you just touch update. And now if a student wants to view it, when they go to the exam page, the front page of the site, they can view it. Every examination will be displayed there. I don't want to use this as an example since this is somebody's site entirely, but we'll just view just this exam page. So you can see this view here. We'll open it in a new tab. So we can just view just this exam only. And this is how it will be displayed. The class, the title, fourth term phonetics. Remember, you can add an image there, just like I showed you the tag, which is the term, fourth term. Just start. Now the student can put their name. So I'll just type a random name. JJJ. Admission number. This can be customized the way you want it. So next. Now remember, this was one of the questions we created. Phonetics. What does phonetic deal with? Sans dog, that'll be like, I can just select sans. Next. Hello, is phone a car? True or false? I can just put true. This is just an example. Now, if you want to go back to the previous one to check if it's correct, you just touch here. You see the previous one to see if it's correct. Then once you okay, you confirm it's correct, go next. Now this is the time. Like I said, it's per seconds, so you can calculate how many seconds is 60 seconds and range it the way you want. Type it there. So it's counting. Then once you are done, you touch complete. Now this is set so that at the end of a question, a student can like see the results immediately. So oops, you've not passed the exam. Your score is 1/2. 1/2. So you can see it. Now if the questions are 60, let's say 60 questions, under that place you can go and put 60 as pass mark. If the questions are 50, and 40 is pass, 40/50 is pass. It's like it's good, it's enough to pass. You can put 40. Now if the questions are 10, and maybe 8/10 is pass, you can put 8/10. So anything below it is fail, like that. So those are settings you can do just based on this video I've explained. So this is it. This is everything about it. Now this star cache, now sometimes when you've created the questions and everything on the home page of the site, let me just give an example, a quick example before I close this. Now this is just a random example. Under your select category, you can select, let's say, primary one, for example. It will display all the primary one subjects there. So let's assume it's not showing primary one, or it's not showing that your class. Let's say, remember that Gen 1. Remember, this is under post. I told you after creating categories and tags under exam manager, you have to create them under post too before doing every other thing. You just come to tag catch if it's not displaying there. Touch this tag catch and you touch purge everything, purge cache. Once you've done that, you will come to this page, you reload, and now you reload it. Sometimes it will have to like, it will take some time because you're just clearing the cache. It will take some time, but you'll see it will show the category here just the way you want it. So let's say I open this in a new tab. Um, Open this in a new tab. It will take some time. At times the clearing doesn't clear immediately. That's a catch. But once it clears, it will take some time. Then to display to show every single class there. So once you touch it, remember it only shows the classes that have examination. So if your class don't have examination, it will not show it. Only classes that have examination, those are the ones it displays. So you can have a class, but if the class doesn't have an examination, it will display it here. You can see general paper, quantitative reasoning, mathematics, English, verbal reasoning. These ones have examination. That is why it's showing them. So if that Gen 1 has an examination, it will also display it here, just like the others. But if it doesn't have an examination, it won't display it here. So this is everything about this examination portal. If there are any other questions, you can get in touch with our team and we'll get back to you. So this is it. So when you want to log out, all you need to do is come here. You can change it. Okay, one more thing, you can change it to dark mode or light mode. This is your own choice. You can make it whatever mode you want based on your choice. Based on your choice, you can make it dark mode or light mode. This has to do with choice. 1 minute. So you can see the dark mode is somehow. So you can use the light mode, or you can. This can also be customized. This whole design color can be customized based on your choice as well. So you can view the profile of this person. You can view the site from here. Just tap that place to view the site. Then you can also log out. And that is it. This is everything about it.